Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you found yourself searching for your glasses, only to realize they've been on your head the whole time. Don't worry, you're not alone. These little lapses happen to all of us, and they can be frustrating. But here's the good news. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean your memory has to fade. In fact, there are simple things you can do every day to keep your mind sharp and your memory strong. No expensive supplements, no complicated routines, and definitely no giving up your morning coffee. The truth is, your brain is like a muscle, and just like your body, it needs a bit of daily exercise to stay in shape. So if you've ever worried about forgetting names, losing your train of thought mid-sentence, or struggling to remember where you left the car keys, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 simple habits, things you can easily do every single day to keep your memory strong and your mind alert. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 85, it's never too late to take charge of your brain health. Let's start with something you might already be doing, but maybe not intentionally. Talking. That's right, talking. Having real conversations, not just scrolling through social media or texting. When you talk to someone, especially about something meaningful, your brain lights up in ways you probably don't even realize. You're recalling words, processing emotions, reading facial expressions, and responding in real time. All of that builds mental agility. Think about the last time you caught up with an old friend and laughed over memories from years ago. You weren't just reminiscing, you were actually activating parts of your brain that help strengthen recall and communication. So make it a point to reach out. Call a friend, join a local group, chat with your neighbors. Even talking to the cashier at the grocery store can count. The more engaged your conversations, the more you're training your brain without even trying. But let's say you're someone who enjoys alone time. That's okay too. Which brings us to another powerful habit, reading. And no, it doesn't have to be some long, complicated novel. Even reading the morning newspaper or a few pages of a good book can make a big difference. When you read, your brain is constantly making connections. You're visualizing scenes, following plots, remembering characters. It's a workout for your memory, whether you realize it or not. I knew a gentleman named Frank, 78 years old, who swore by his daily reading time. Every morning after breakfast, he'd sit by the window and read one article from his favorite history magazine. That one habit kept his mind active and gave him something new to talk about with his grandkids every week. The point is, it doesn't have to be a big commitment. Just a few minutes a day can give your brain the stimulation it needs to stay in shape. Now, I know what some people might be thinking. That all sounds nice, but my memory isn't what it used to be. And yes, aging does change our brains. That's natural, but it doesn't mean we're powerless. In fact, one of the most underrated habits for protecting memory is something you do with your body: moving. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. I'm talking about simple, gentle movement every day. Taking a walk around the block, stretching your arms and legs, dancing in your living room to your favorite music from the 70s. When your body moves, your brain gets more oxygen. Your blood pumps better. You feel more awake. And guess what? Your memory improves. There was a study not too long ago that showed seniors who walked just 20 minutes a day had better memory retention than those who didn't. Just 20 minutes. That's less than one episode of your favorite TV show. The key here is consistency, not intensity. You don't have to work up a sweat or push yourself too hard. Just keep your body in motion and your brain will thank you for it. And while we're on the topic of things your brain thanks you for, let's not forget about what you feed it. Because yes, your memory is directly affected by what you eat. But before you start worrying about counting calories or following some strict diet plan, let me assure you, this is simpler than you think. There are a few foods that are especially good for the brain. Think blueberries, walnuts, leafy greens, and yes, even dark chocolate. These foods are packed with antioxidants and nutrients that help fight off the kind of inflammation that damages brain cells. And when your brain cells are healthy, your memory naturally works better. I always tell people, think of your brain like a high-performance car. You wouldn't pour soda into the gas tank and expect it to run well, right? It's the same with your mind. What you eat either fuels it or slows it down. Start by making small swaps, maybe a handful of nuts instead of chips, or a cup of green tea instead of sugary soda. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start feeding your brain the good stuff, one choice at a time. Now that we've talked about daily conversations, reading, movement, and brain-friendly foods, you might already be thinking of ways to fit some of these into your routine. And that's the beauty of it. These habits aren't complicated. They're natural, they're doable, and they truly make a difference. But we're not done yet, because one of the most powerful tools for memory, and one of the most overlooked, is still to come. So let's talk about something truly powerful and completely free, or that can improve memory, lower stress, and even help you sleep better. I'm talking about mindfulness. Now, before you roll your eyes or think, "That's not for me," hear me out. Mindfulness doesn't mean sitting on a mountain and meditating for hours. It's not about being spiritual or chanting or lighting candles. It's simply the practice of paying attention to the present moment. Being aware of where you are, what you're doing, and how you're feeling, without judgment. You can practice mindfulness while sipping your morning coffee, or when you're taking a slow walk, or even while washing the dishes. The key is to slow down just enough to really notice what's happening. The warmth of the mug in your hand, the way your feet feel on the floor, the sound of birds outside. Why does this matter? Because when you focus on the present, your brain builds stronger connections. You sharpen your attention, and when your attention improves, so does your memory. A woman I once met at a senior wellness workshop shared how mindfulness changed her life. She started with just 2 minutes of deep breathing in the morning. That's it, 2 minutes. But over time, she noticed she wasn't forgetting things as often. She felt calmer, more alert, and more connected to the world around her. It wasn't a magic pill, it was a shift in how she paid attention. That's the beauty of mindfulness. It meets you where you are. And here's a little trick to help you try it. Next time you feel overwhelmed or forgetful, just pause, close your eyes, and take 3 slow, deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. It takes less than 30 seconds, but it resets your brain and helps bring you back to focus. Now, as we've talked about so far, memory isn't just about the brain itself. It's also about the lifestyle you build around it. And nothing affects your lifestyle more than the people you surround yourself with. That's why another surprisingly effective habit for keeping your memory sharp is simply staying socially connected. Now, I know this one can feel tricky. Sometimes friends move away, or loved ones pass on, or we just don't get out as much as we used to. But that doesn't mean you have to be isolated. Connection doesn't always mean being in a big crowd or going to parties. It can be as simple as calling your niece once a week, joining a local book club, or even talking to your neighbor over the fence. Human connection activates our brain in powerful ways. It brings joy, laughter, and emotional engagement, all of which are crucial for memory retention. There's even research showing that people who maintain strong social ties are less likely to develop memory problems or cognitive decline as they age. It's not just about having company. It's about engaging with others in a way that stimulates your thinking. Joking, storytelling, sharing ideas, all of these things keep your brain nimble and alive. And don't forget, connecting with others also helps reduce stress. And that's a big deal. Because stress, especially the kind that simmers under the surface, is one of the biggest enemies of memory. When your brain is constantly in fight or flight mode, it can't focus, it can't retain new information, and over time, it can even shrink the parts of your brain that store memories. That's why combining social connection with mindfulness and movement is such a powerful trio. You're calming your mind, moving your body, and nurturing your spirit. And all three work together to keep your brain healthier for longer. Now, I want to talk about something that might surprise you. It's a habit that's been shown to protect memory, improve sleep, boost creativity, and even slow down cognitive aging. And yet, most people over 60 don't do it nearly enough. Sleep. Yep, good old-fashioned quality sleep. It sounds simple, but the truth is, most of us don't realize how deeply sleep affects our memory. During sleep, your brain sorts through everything you've taken in during the day. It decides what to keep, what to toss out, and what to file away for later. Without enough sleep, especially deep, restorative sleep, Your brain struggles to do this properly. That's why you might feel foggy after a bad night's rest, or why your memory feels off when you've been tossing and turning. It's not just tiredness. Your brain didn't get a chance to reset. Now, the good news is that you don't need to sleep for 10 hours a night to get these benefits. What matters most is the quality of your sleep. Making a few small changes to your nighttime routine can help, like turning off screens an hour before bed, keeping your bedroom cool and quiet, or sipping a cup of herbal tea to unwind. Some folks find that journaling for just 5 minutes before bed helps them clear their mind and sleep more deeply. And here's something else to remember. The brain loves routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day helps train your body and mind to settle into deeper, more restorative sleep. And that in turn helps your memory stay strong and your mood stay balanced. When you think about all these habits together, daily conversations, light movement, eating brain-friendly foods, practicing mindfulness, staying socially connected, and getting better sleep, they start to form a kind of rhythm, a lifestyle. And that's really what brain health is all about. Not doing one big thing once in a while, but doing small, meaningful things every day. These aren't complicated. You don't need fancy apps, expensive vitamins, or hours of free time. All it takes is intention. A little bit of effort done consistently can lead to powerful results. The kind that helps you remember where you put your glasses and everything else that matters to you. It's funny how the smallest things in life, things we often overlook, can turn out to be the most powerful. You don't need a perfect memory to live a full, vibrant life. But what you do need is intention, a willingness to show up for yourself each day. And that's where the final habit comes in. Something most people rarely talk about, but it's incredibly important. Learning. Yes, even after 60, even after retirement, even after raising families and building careers, your brain still craves new experiences. Learning doesn't stop when the school bell rings or when you blow out the candles on your 65th birthday cake. In fact, the more you learn now, the better your memory becomes. But this kind of learning doesn't mean going back to college or studying calculus. It can be as simple as trying a new recipe, picking up a new hobby, or learning how to use a new app on your phone. The key is to challenge your brain in a new way, to nudge it gently out of its comfort zone. I once met a woman named Teresa who started learning Spanish at age 72. Not because she needed it, but because she wanted to. She practiced 10 minutes a day just for fun. And not only did her vocabulary grow, but she noticed she could recall names and grocery lists more easily. It wasn't the Spanish that made the difference. It was the learning. The act of doing something unfamiliar, something a little challenging, gave her brain a fresh workout. So think about what excites you. Is there something you've always wanted to try but never got around to? Maybe painting, gardening, writing a short story, or learning how to play the piano. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that it feels new and just a little bit challenging. You could even try switching up routines, brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, taking a different route on your morning walk, or rearranging your kitchen cabinets. These small shifts force your brain to stay alert and flexible, and that's exactly what keeps memory strong as the years go by. And here's the beautiful part. The more you engage in these little learning adventures, the more confident you feel. That confidence radiates into every part of your life, your conversations, your relationships, your sense of independence. You begin to trust your mind again instead of fearing its changes. Now let's take a breath and look at the journey we've taken together. We've talked about connecting through meaningful conversations, keeping your body moving, feeding your brain with good nutrition, calming your mind through mindfulness, resting deeply at night, staying socially connected, and learning something new every day. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present, about giving yourself the gift of small, consistent actions that build up over time. And if all this feels like a lot to start with, let me tell you this. Even choosing one of these habits can create a ripple effect. Maybe today you start with a short walk. Tomorrow that walk leads to a conversation with a neighbor. That conversation inspires you to read something new. And just like that, your brain is back in motion. Not because you forced it, but because you cared enough to give it attention. It's easy to feel discouraged when memory slips up. You forget a birthday, miss an appointment, or blank out during a conversation. And suddenly the doubt creeps in. But don't let those moments define you. Memory is not a fixed thing. It's alive, it's responsive, and it can improve at any age with the right kind of love and care. You're not losing your memory. You're just being invited to nurture it in new ways. So be patient with yourself. Speak kindly to your mind. Give it the rest, the nourishment, the movement, and the joy it needs. You've lived decades filled with rich experiences. Now is the time to protect those memories and make room for new ones. And if this video has helped you, even in the smallest way, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which habit you're going to try first, or which one you already do and love. You might just inspire someone else reading through the comments to do the same. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people like you who want to stay strong, sharp, and independent. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more videos coming that'll keep you feeling empowered, healthy, and supported in this beautiful chapter of life. You've still got so much life to live and so much wisdom to offer the world. Let's make sure your memory sticks around to enjoy every bit of it. Here's to living your best life at any age, with clarity, confidence, and joy.